went to a Mitt Romney campaign rally in Iowa.
We were 7 rows away from him. And I asked him to come to Freeport, Illinois and help save the Sensata jobs. And we were forcibly removed.
And I was literally a little worried for my safety when everyone gets up in a ruckus and is shouting nasty things at you.
And they called us communists for trying to save our jobs from going to China.
The jobs are going to communists.
Yeah, exactly right.
Another gentleman that was with us was trying to tell him, saying, hey, his job's getting shipped to China. And as I walked by a lady, she said, who cares? And I'm like, really?
We meant nothing to them. They just pulled the rug from underneath us, announced to us that, hey, your job is going away. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
I was outsourced out of jobs before, but there was always another job for me to go into.
I knew the first time around that there was hope. But when the second time come around, I just knew that there was no other place to go.
I really didn't know who owned these companies. We found out that Sensata was owned by Bain Capital, and Governor Romney is the one that started Bain Capital. So we thought, well, this would be a good time for us to try to have our voices heard and see if we can get him to help us save these jobs from moving overseas.
Mitt Romney came to Janesville, Wisconsin, and made a speech in which he was talking about how the government needed to get tougher with outsourcing of manufacturing jobs to China. And his company that he's making money off of was outsourcing our jobs to China. And it's like the hypocrisy of this just was the last straw.
I've worked at Honeywell Sensata for the last 8 years.
I've been there for 39 years.
For 33 years, 34 years, 18 years.
19 years.
I was really upset to find out that Sensata had cut our severance pay in half, even though they made $190 million in profit last year alone.
Corporate profits are at an all-time record high. Workers are working harder than ever before for less than they've ever been paid to help companies like Sensata become these huge success stories.
The manager of the plant said that it was like having a gang because we were pitting each other against one another. I'm not really familiar with gangs, so that was like, where are you coming from on this one? Because this is so far from not a gang, unless you want to say it's a group of people concerned about their jobs and their livelihoods. I guess that's a new gang in town.
They said, you're not allowed to discuss that in the workplace. Okay? You know that's against the law.
5, 6, 7, 8. Tell Mitt Romney we can't wait. 1, 2, 3.
If he wants to really be in touch with his middle-class citizens, we welcome him to come to this town and see what it's really like and what the outsourcing that his company that he made of Bain is doing to communities like this.
Bain Capital has received 400% of their original investment in Sensata technology since they've owned it. This is not a thing about moving these jobs because we need to be competitive. This is pure greed.
It's not just Freeport. Thousands of people are losing their jobs to China.
It's gonna take all of us as Americans to stand up and say no more.
If we leave it up to the higher up people, they won't. So it's up to us to join up together so they don't have an option to send my next job over to China or my daughter's job to China.
When this started out, it was a half-desperate attempt to try to save these jobs. Now it's become a mission to let people know that outsourcing is an ongoing issue that's growing and growing and growing, and it needs to be stopped. And Freeport, Illinois is just as good a place as anywhere to stop it.